I brought this person here because you keep giving yourself away to people. So I've given somebody so bad to you that you're not going to give yourself away to that person anymore. So now God's giving you the opposite experience. And the same yelling in the same person, but it's not to listen, it's to learn to know who you are and to stand up for yourself and stop listening to people who are guiding you astray. See the difference? So God can work either way. So in the third station, by the way, you'll, through the Monorifa, you'll know what these lessons are. That's the secret of the third station, is you actually know it. Allah will reveal to you, through Tajalli, through the voices of the Ruhanis and the angels, why God has given you this situation. And not only will He reveal it, He will reveal to you what you need to do to get out of it, if you listen. And that's the third station. The secret of the third station are those things. All right, let me just see if I forgot to tell you anything that I wanted to tell you. Today, tomorrow, we're going to be talking, we're going to actually go through Siddhi's reading on the luminous veils, which really explain it quite beautifully. And then in the later part of the morning, we're going to actually learn how to understand the teachings of the veils and the first levels of purification. So how do we purify these veils of light so that we can actually go into Fana? And I don't have more. If I had more time, I would have given you my fourth lecture, which we're not going to do, but which is about the nature of Fana itself and how one makes Fana. We're not going to do that. Thank you very much. Okay, I think the only point, let's see, just a couple little points I want to make here that I haven't said yet tonight. The third station, Siddhi says, the issue with the third station is that you have deeply purified yourself, but you're not yet witnessing the beauty of the real. And you're not witnessing the beauty of the real because you're caught by the luminous veils and acceptable desires that keep you from this witnessing. Okay. He also mentions that the way of the Sufi is the way of pure love for God. The prophetic way, the Mohammedan way, the way of La ilaha illallah means to love only God, to put God first. La ilaha illallah means nothing before God. Put God first, and through loving God first, you'll love God's qualities. So, for example, you fall in love with a woman, if you're a man, for example, you say, oh, she's the most beautiful thing in the world, I absolutely love her, and I will do anything for her. I remember my neighbors were like that. They were in their 70s, they've been in love for 50 years, and all he could do, even at 7 years old, was look at his wife with stars in his eyes. He loved her so deeply, it was beautiful. But when I started to try to bring his heart closer to Allah, he went crazy. He got rageful. He said, how dare you try to bring me to God? I'm not interested in knowing God. I love my wife. So there was no La ilaha illallah, there was no God but Allah. There was La ilaha illallah, wife. Which is beautiful, but he didn't know God. So in our way, if he had known God, he would have reached the real love, and in the real love, he would have been able to be with his wife in a way that he never imagined. He could have given her, he was giving her perhaps a pond of love. If he had known Allah, he could have given her an ocean of love. But he wasn't willing to do that. Okay, that's a veil of life. Yes.
We teach about the third station, not from Music of the Soul. Is that right? From
he who knows himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in this book here for people. It's he who knows himself. It's this book. And the 7 stations of music of the soul are part of the third station. The 7 stations of the soul are all parts of the station. Okay? So those of you walking here at Sufi Way, you're going to come to the third station sooner or later. Amazing, amazing station. Incredible station. This is where you start to experience miracles through you. you will actually start to see miracles happening through your presence. You start to become aware of these things. You start to see healing come right out of your being. You'll be sitting there, light will come out of you, you didn't do anything, it shoots through you, and somebody gets healed. And you'll see the next day they hit your light, and then a week later they hear that their cancer disappeared. And you didn't do it, it just happened through you. These miracles, these karma begin to happen in this station. It's a very powerful station. It's the first station of sainthood. It's the beginning of early sainthood. It happens at this station. But at the same time, it also has its detriments. So detriments being the veils of light. And again, I want to remind you that the nature of the Sufi path is pure love for God. And this is different than formal religions. In many formal religions, you don't have to love God, you just have to do what God wants. And doing what God wants is great, and you may reach heaven because of that, you may reach paradise. But if you don't love God, you've missed a lot of the way. Because if you love God, it's much easier to do what God wants, and it's much greater. So the nature of the Sufi way is pure love for God from the heart. It's the love for God and the love that is the nature of your relationship to God that defines the Sufi path. Sufism is the path of purification of all things that come between you and your love of God. To follow the Sufi path, you need to know what God is, meaning you need to know what His light is. You need to understand what God is asking of you, the will of God. You must find the willingness to surrender to God, not just in times of ease, but in times of difficulties. And in the end, you must become a true lover of God who submits to the will and the love of his Lord. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to talk about constraint and ways of overcoming this station, how to move through this station. We're going to talk about a little bit more about the nature of ardent love and the Ishq. And then the gist of it will be purification of the illusions that keep you separate from the reality of God itself. That'll be the nature of tomorrow's talk. Okay, I think that covers it. Any questions, or would you like to go home? I know it's getting late. Okay, thank you. All right.
Can I just a couple of logistics real quick?
Yes.
Please. So tomorrow we will, alhamdulillah, we're going to have